The Project Management Institute Agile Certified Practitioner, often shortened to PMI-ACP, is a professional certification for people who work in Agile environments and need to show more than surface familiarity with Agile terms. This piece is part of the Monday Certified feature from Bare Metal Cyber Magazine, and today we are looking at where this certification fits, what kind of professional it serves, what the exam is really trying to measure, and how a busy learner can prepare in a practical way.
If this certification is on your study list, a free and complete audio course is available in the Bare Metal Cyber Academy at baremetalcyber.com, complete with a study guide and a second ebook featuring 1,000 flashcard questions. The credential is not simply a Scrum vocabulary test. Scrum knowledge can help, but the exam is broader than one framework, one set of ceremonies, or one team role. It is aimed at people who help teams deliver value through changing priorities, stakeholder feedback, adaptive planning, product thinking, collaboration, and continuous improvement. That makes it useful across project work, product delivery, technology operations, cybersecurity programs, cloud initiatives, software teams, governance efforts, and many other environments where work changes as teams learn more. For early career cyber and IT professionals, that point matters. Agile delivery is no longer limited to software developers. Security teams use backlogs to prioritize remediation. Cloud teams use iterative work to improve platforms. Governance teams use automation efforts to reduce manual control work. Product security teams use feedback loops to prioritize defects, risk, and customer impact. Even if your job title is not project manager, you may still find yourself coordinating work, clarifying value, managing trade-offs, or helping a technical team move from a vague need to a delivered outcome.
PMI-ACP is issued by the Project Management Institute, the same organization behind widely recognized project and program management credentials. The PMI name carries weight because many employers already associate it with structured professional standards, formal requirements, continuing education, and career-long credential maintenance. In the Agile space, that gives this certification a slightly different flavor from credentials that focus only on a specific framework. It is designed to show broad Agile practitioner capability rather than narrow familiarity with one method.
The current exam is organized around 4 major domains. Those domains are mindset, leadership, product, and delivery. In plain English, mindset is about how Agile practitioners think. Leadership is about how they help people work together. Product is about how they connect work to value. Delivery is about how teams plan, execute, inspect, adapt, and improve the flow of work. The structure is a useful reminder that Agile practice is not just about running meetings. It is about making better decisions when the situation changes. The mindset side of the exam rewards an understanding of adaptability, experimentation, collaboration, feedback, and continuous learning. A good Agile practitioner does not treat the plan as sacred when new information appears. At the same time, Agile does not mean disorder. The exam expects you to understand how teams can respond to change while still protecting value, quality, transparency, and accountability. That balance is one of the most important ideas behind the certification. The leadership side focuses on facilitation, team development, conflict management, communication, and stakeholder engagement. Agile leadership is not about standing over a team and issuing instructions for every task. It is about helping the team remove obstacles, improve collaboration, understand priorities, make better decisions, and stay connected to the real goal of the work. In exam scenarios, the best answer is often the one that supports transparency, shared understanding, team learning, and value-focused decision-making. The product side is where many candidates need to slow down. Product thinking is not only about writing user stories or keeping a backlog tidy. It is about understanding why the work matters, who benefits from it, which outcomes matter most, and how feedback should shape what happens next. The exam may expect you to think through prioritization, customer value, stakeholder needs, backlog refinement, acceptance criteria, and the difference between being busy and producing something meaningful.
The delivery side brings the work down to the ground. This is where planning, flow, metrics, quality, risk, iteration, and continuous improvement come together. A team may use Scrum, Kanban, Lean ideas, or a hybrid approach, but the underlying concern is the same. How does work move from idea to delivery? Where are the bottlenecks? What feedback is available? What risk is emerging? What should the team improve next? The exam rewards candidates who can connect practices to outcomes rather than treating the practices as empty rituals.
One common misconception is that PMI-ACP is only for people with project manager in their job title. That is too narrow. The credential can fit Scrum Masters, Agile project managers, product owners, product managers, business analysts, delivery leads, developers moving toward leadership, security professionals embedded in product teams, and technical professionals who coordinate work across business and engineering groups. The unifying theme is not the job title. The unifying theme is Agile delivery work.
Another misconception is that Agile exams are easy because they are not deeply technical. This exam may not ask you to configure a firewall, troubleshoot a routing problem, or inspect cloud permissions, but it can still be challenging. Many questions are judgment-based. You may see a scenario where several answers sound reasonable, but only one best supports Agile values: team learning, customer value, and adaptive delivery. That is why memorizing definitions is not enough. You have to understand how the ideas behave in real situations.
The current exam is commonly described as a 3-hour test with 120 questions. Candidates should be prepared for scenario-based questions and several item styles, including traditional multiple choice and other interactive question formats. The details can change over time, so the safest study habit is to check the current PMI candidate information before scheduling. Still, the larger preparation point stays the same. You need to study the content and practice the decision-making style of the exam. Eligibility is also part of the planning process. PMI-ACP is not positioned as a pure beginner awareness credential. PMI generally expects candidates to have Agile experience, formal Agile training, and an education background that meets its stated requirements. For some candidates, an existing PMP or another Agile credential may help satisfy part of the eligibility path. Before spending months preparing, make sure you understand whether you meet the current requirement path or what you still need to complete.
A practical study plan should start with the exam outline. Do not begin by collecting random practice questions from every corner of the internet. First, learn the 4 domains and what each one is trying to measure. Then, build your Agile foundation. Review Agile values, Scrum, Kanban, Lean thinking, product ownership, backlog work, work in progress limits, user stories, retrospectives, feedback loops, release planning, and metrics. Your goal is not to memorize a pile of disconnected terms. Your goal is to build a mental model of how Agile practitioners think. After that, move into scenario practice. When you read a question, ask what problem the team is really facing. Is this a stakeholder issue, a product value issue, a flow issue, a quality issue, a team conflict, or a planning problem? Then ask what an Agile practitioner should do next. The best answer is usually not the one that grabs control, hides uncertainty, ignores feedback, or protects the process at the expense of value. Strong answers tend to support collaboration, visibility, learning, prioritization, and steady delivery. If you already work in an Agile environment, use your real work as part of your study. Pay attention to backlog refinement, sprint planning, daily coordination, retrospectives, demos, stakeholder feedback, release planning, and metrics. Notice where work gets stuck. Notice how priorities are decided. Notice whether the team is measuring activity or outcomes. Notice whether retrospectives lead to actual improvement. This kind of observation turns exam study into professional development, rather than a separate academic exercise.
If you do not currently work on an Agile team, you can still make the ideas more concrete. Take a small project and build a simple backlog. Write user stories. Prioritize work by value, urgency, dependency, and risk. Visualize the work on a board. Limit work in progress. Create a short planning cycle. Review what changed after feedback. Run a mock retrospective and decide what you would improve next. This will not replace real team experience, but it can help you understand the logic behind the practices.
The Bare Metal Cyber Academy can fit into this study path as a flexible support system. The free audio course is useful when you want to build familiarity during a commute, walk, workout, or routine task. The study guide can provide a more structured reading path when you need to slow down and organize the domains. The flashcards ebook can help with repeated review, terminology, and quick recall. A good pattern is to listen for context, read for structure, practice for judgment, and use flashcards to keep important ideas fresh.
Time management should be part of preparation from the beginning. 3 hours can sound comfortable until scenario questions start stacking up. Practice reading the question carefully, identifying the real issue, eliminating weak answers, and choosing the response that best supports Agile delivery. When 2 answers seem close, look for the one that is more value-focused, more collaborative, more transparent, and more supportive of team learning. Do not overthink every question, but do not rush past the decision point either.
From a career perspective, PMI-ACP can help professionals show that they understand Agile work beyond slogans and ceremonies. It may support roles in project coordination, Agile project management, product ownership, product management, delivery leadership, business analysis, technology operations, and security or cloud teams that operate through iterative delivery. Hiring managers may see it as a useful signal that a candidate has formal Agile training, practical exposure, and a delivery mindset.
The credential can also pair well with other certifications. Someone early in project management might start with CAPM and later pursue PMI-ACP after gaining Agile experience. A more experienced project professional might combine PMP with this Agile credential to show both predictive and adaptive delivery capability. A technical professional might pair it with cloud, security, IT service management, privacy, audit, or governance credentials to show that they can connect technical execution with business value.
It is not always the right first step. If you need a very basic project management credential, CAPM may be a better starting point. If you want a Scrum-specific credential, a Scrum Master or Product Owner certification may be more direct. If you are aiming for senior project leadership across many delivery models, PMP may carry broader recognition. If your organization uses a specific scaled Agile model, a credential tied to that model may fit better. PMI-ACP is strongest when your goal is broad Agile practitioner credibility across teams, products, stakeholders, and delivery environments. The bottom line is that this certification is best for people who already work in or near Agile delivery and want to validate applied judgment. It is about mindset, leadership, product value, and delivery flow. It is about helping teams learn, adapt, and produce useful outcomes while conditions change around them. For early career and mid-career professionals moving from task execution into coordination, facilitation, product thinking, or delivery leadership, it can be a strong and practical next step.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.